Everyone and welcome. In this video, we're going to be covering the jungle route you need to know for Season 9. This guide is aimed not only to help junglers, but also laners, as it's an extremely aggressive gank-heavy route in the early game. We'll be breaking down not only how to execute this route, but also how to counter it later on in the video, so make sure to watch it to the very end. Alright, let's get started with a quick overview. We begin this path by getting a leash on our red. Afterwards, we gank the nearby side lane. Yes, we're ganking that early and it's only going to get more aggressive from here. Next, we take the nearby scuttle in the river. Once we've done this, we execute a transition gank through mid lane. Surely, this must be the end of the onslaught of our aggression. Nope. We then take the next scuttle in the river. After this, we have several options, the first being invading to steal the enemy's red and killing them. Second is to gank the other side lane if they're overextended. And lastly, we can go back to full clearing our jungle with our double scuttle advantage. Many of you are probably thinking that this seems borderline overpowered, and it absolutely is. This is arguably the strongest route in Season 9. However, not every jungler can do this route. You want to use it on champions with a strong level 2 in terms of ganking and dueling. The main examples of this are Camille, Xin Zhao, and Pantheon. All three of these champions offer early game crowd control while being strong duelers that can win 1v1 against the enemy jungler. Even though this path is really strong, it's not unbeatable, so let's break down exactly how to use this route as well as how to counter it. You want to start the game getting your early line of vision in the pixel brushes. This is absolutely imperative in the current meta. Ward the side you're starting on at 110 and get your teammates to ward the opposite side at 120. These wards will help scout what path the enemy jungler is taking and whether he's going to take an early scuttle of his own. I'll explain shortly what to do if he does. So we always begin by taking our red instead of our blue. Why is this? The red buff will not only make our auto attack slow, but also do damage over time. This will help our ganks hit harder as well as our dueling power at any early skirmishes over the scuttles. That being said, it's not only due to the different effects of the buffs. By starting at red, after we take both scuttles, we'll end in our blue side jungle. This is where our wolves and Gromp resides. These camps are much faster and easier to take than the raptors and krugs. So after doing red, we look for a gank on our nearby side lane. It's very important that you move through the tri-brush and not through the ramp near mid lane. This will help you avoid being spotted in the extremely common pixel brush wards we mentioned earlier. We then look to execute our gank on the side lane. For the most part, this is a free gank. Let me explain. The Rift Scuttle doesn't spawn until the 2-minute mark, meaning that if you went straight to the scuttle, you'd be standing around waiting for a bit. We can use that downtime to try and execute a gank on the side lane, while losing a very minimal amount of time in the process. After this, you move to take the nearby scuttle. It's very important to watch your opposite pixel brush ward during this moment. You're looking to see if the enemy jungler is also going for an early scuttle. In this example, we spot Kayn, so what should we do? The answer is, you need to enter into vertical jungling. Vertical jungling can be best visualized if we split the map in half with a line through mid lane. One jungler will get the top side of the map, while the other jungler will get the bot side. Both of you will end up farming each other's blue side jungle as if it was your own. This results in clearing vertically from top to bottom instead of the usual horizontal jungling from left to right. So if we jump back into the replay, we know to take the enemy's blue, Gromp, and wolves. It's important that when you clear wolves, you leave a small one up. This will delay the respawn of the camp significantly for the opponent. Some of you are probably wondering why we enter a vertical jungling scenario when we see the enemy jungler take the opposite scuttle early on. The reason is, the enemy jungler isn't able to defend their blue before you take it. For example, in this situation Xin Zhao takes the top scuttle while Udyr takes bot scuttle. Udyr runs to try and defend his blue, but by the time he gets there, Xin Zhao has already stolen it. On top of this, Now Udyr isn't able to steal Xin Zhao's blue since he's so far away. So let's go back to when you first kill the Scuttle. After this point, you're looking to execute a transition gank on mid lane. Our main goal is to get to the other Scuttle as fast as possible. Moving through mid lane is simply the quickest path there. This is what makes it a transition gank. We're transitioning from one side of the map to the other. The gank is just a side effect of this process. One of the additional benefits is that it will often secure you priority in your mid lane. This will help you win a fight if the enemy tries to contest you at the Scuttle. After taking the next Scuttle, we can now decide whether we want to invade, gank the side lane, or go back to farming. In this replay, the enemy Lee Sin started blue, while the Camille started at red. This means that Lee Sin's red is still up. A lot of the time, when a jungler starts at blue, they will clear multiple camps such as Gromp and Wolves before getting to their red. When you invade, you're hoping that the enemy made the mistake of doing this, allowing you to catch them at their red, often securing a kill and stealing the buff. Another reason why this works is that the Pixel Brush wards will expire at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, so by the time you finish the Scuttle, they will lose their early vision. This lets you invade without being spotted. If the jungler didn't start on the same side of the map as you, then invading is no longer an option as their buff will already be taken. Instead, you want to look for a potential gank on the side lane. This one is relatively straightforward. If the enemy bot lane is pushed and equal in health to your bot lane, then execute the gank. If there's no gank available, you can simply fall back into full clear in your jungle. This is still advantageous as you've applied early pressure, and since you've secured both Scuttles, you'll have a farm advantage on the enemy jungler. Alright, this route is starting to look bulletproof, so let's cover what you can do to counter it. Firstly, if you're the bot lane, do not try to cheese the enemy bot lane in the tri-brush. You'll only end up fighting 2v3 and instantly losing your lane. You want to start by getting an early line of vision. Ward both the Pixel Brush as well as the tri-brush near the enemy's red buff. This is how you counter it as a laner, as it will help you spot the enemy when he tries to execute early ganks on both the side lane and mid. That being said, some champions such as Camille could dash over the wall to avoid these wards. If this is the case, ward the center of the river instead of the Pixel Brush. Now, when you do red into Scuttle into the other Scuttle, you end up leaving your Raptors and Krugs up. This is one of its main weaknesses. As a jungler, you can look to punish this. If you start red, you can take Krugs into Raptors, clearing your entire red side. After which, you can counter jungle the enemy's Raptors and Krugs, making sure to leave one small Raptor to delay the camp's respawn. Since you've already taken your red side jungle, it offers no way for the enemy to invade and equalize. Alright, we went over a lot in this video, so let's recap. You start by taking your red into ganking a side lane. After this, you take the nearby Scuttle. You watch the Pixel Brush ward on the opposite side of the map to scout if the enemy is going for the opposite Scuttle. If they are, you want to initiate a vertical jungling scenario by invading their blue. If they aren't taking the Scuttle, you transition gank mid into taking the Scuttle for yourself. After this, you can invade their red if they started on the same side of the map as you. If not, you can look for a gank bot if it's available. Otherwise, return back to farming your jungle with your double Scuttle advantage. The best way to counter this route is to get an early line of vision in the tri-brush and Pixel Brush on their red side. Additionally, junglers can look to clear their own red side jungle into stealing the enemy's Raptors and Krugs. Alright, what do you guys think of this jungle path? Let us know in the comment section below, as well as any questions you might have. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. In the meantime, start the season off right by checking out one of our other videos, which I'm sure you'll love. As always, good luck and have fun on